Naegi, an average student, wins a nationwide lottery to attend the prestigious Hope's Peak High School. He enters his school full of encouragement, ready to face any task I throw at him, only to see his world black out. He wakes up in a classroom with all the windows sealed shut. Naega finds a letter telling him to come to the gym at 8 o'clock. Realizing it's already time, he rushes to the gym where he meets with 14 other students, all clueless about the situation, same as him. He finds his middle school classmate, Sayaka, there as well. They barely have a chance to catch up when the school principal, Monokuma, a black and white bear doll, jumps onto the podium and introduces himself. He welcomes them all into his humble institution and tells them that in order to get out of the sealed school, they need to kill one of their fellow classmates and get away with it. Alternatively, they can choose to spend the rest of their lives at this school. Mondo loses his temper and grabs Monokuma by the collar, demanding to let them out, but Monokuma starts to beep. He quickly throws the doll away before it explodes. Tension starts to increase between the students until Togami and Mondo start to fight. Naega tries to stop them but gets knocked out in the process. He wakes up in his room and sees Sayaka sitting next to him. She tells him what happened, and they promise each other to get out of here alive. They both go to the cafeteria and meet up with everyone else to discuss their situation. The upper floors of the school are locked, and they have food supplies that somehow get replenished every day. They all gather together to discuss their strategy and agree that no one will kill anyone. The next day, Monokuma tells them that this isn't what he had hoped for, so he will give them some motivation. He tells them to go to the auditorium, where they find a DVD for each and every one of them with their names on it. They sit down to watch it on a private screen, only to find out that their families have been killed and no one is coming to save them. Now, Naega goes through his room to see things in more detail. He notices that everyone is under constant surveillance and learns that the water will be turned off at 10 p.m. He has a toolkit in his drawer, and furthermore, his bathroom door is faulty and has difficulty opening it up. Monokuma tells him not to worry as he will replace it. All girls' bathrooms have locks on them while boys' ones do not. Later that night, Sayaka comes over to Naega's room in tears. She tells him that someone is after her, and she's afraid that she will be killed. Naega tells her not to worry and switches his rooms with her for the night. The next day, during their roll call, everyone notices that Sayaka is missing. Naega runs through his room and finds it in a mess with Sayaka dead in the bathroom, stabbed in the stomach with a kitchen knife. Monokuma summons everyone to the gym and explains what they have to do. The rules of the game dictate that after every murder, they will have some time to carry out an investigation before voting out the killer. If they successfully find the killer, he or she dies. If they are wrong, they all will be killed instead, while the killer will be set free. Junko gets angry and steps on him, saying that they won't be following his orders but Monokuma's body suddenly erupts into spears, impaling her to death. Not wanting to end up dead like Junko, they all point towards 9, since he is the clear suspect. They switched rooms last night without anyone knowing, and Naega, thinking that no one would suspect him since Sayaka and he were close, took the opportunity to kill her. They begin the investigation and start gathering evidence. They find a bird jacket and Yasuhiro's broken glass ball near the incinerator and closely inspect Sayaka's body. Looking at the way her body is, they can clearly see that she struggled against the attacker. Miyagi also finds a number, 11,037, written in blood behind Sayaka's body. Once the time is over, they all get into an elevator and head to the basement to play judge, jury, executioner. Naega is worried about what will happen to him, since only 2 people know that he is innocent. One of them is dead, while the other is the killer. Everyone enters the courtroom for the first-class trial to begin. The room has 16 podiums and a large chair on top of which Monokuma is sitting, awaiting their arrival. Kyoko immediately notices that there is one extra podium and asks Monokuma about it, but he tells her that she is just reading too much into it. The trial begins, and Naega's innocence is called into question. They all start to piece the information they gathered together, starting with the kitchen knife. Sakura and Aoi tell everyone that they both were in the kitchen last night when Sayaka came over and took it. They are certain of one thing, Sayaka must have let the culprit into the room. Naega disagrees, saying that he told her not to let anyone in, but Kyoko produces Sayaka's letter, telling someone to check the nameplates on the rooms before entering. Sayaka had planned to kill the recipient and blame it on Naega, but ended up dying herself. Before they finally announce the verdict, Naiga finally understands what the numbers behind Sayaka's body mean. He points towards Leon, saying that he killed her since 11,037 read the other way makes his name. Leon is taken aback. He tells him that he is just speculating now but starts to lose his footing once Naiga starts to piece everything together. After killing Sayaka, the culprit hurried to get rid of the evidence. However, they couldn't get to the incinerator as there was a shutter gate in the way. So the culprit used Yasuhiro's glass ball to open the gates by throwing it at the on button for the shutter gates, which is something only a baseball player like Leon can do. Leon finally confesses to it. He tells everyone that he went to see Sayaka, but she attacked him. He only acted in self-defense to save himself. Everyone looks away as, no matter what, he is the killer. Everyone votes out Leon, and he is executed by 1,000 blows. After the trial, Naiga lies on his bed, wondering why Sayaka tried to throw him under the bus. After a while, Kyoko comes over and tells him to cheer up since Sayaka realized her mistake before dying and told them Leon's name before taking her last breath. After the first-class trial, the second floor of the school opens up to everyone. The second floor has a library, along with a swimming pool and separate changing rooms for boys and girls. Monokuma tells the girls not to worry, as the changing rooms can only be opened by their access cards. If someone from the opposite gender tries to enter the other room, they will be shot dead with a minigun. Naiga notices that Togami just sits in the library and spends his entire time there, while Toko just looks at him from a distance and drools over him. Completely shocked by her sudden personality changes, freaked out by Toko, Naiga goes to the boys' changing room, where he sees Mondo and Ishimaru arguing with each other about who is the better man. The next day, everyone is grossed out by Mondo and Ishimaru's deep friendship that they seemingly developed overnight. Everyone gets called into the gym once again, and Monokuma tells them that since things are moving slowly, he will spice it up. He throws down several envelopes at them with everyone's names on them, telling them that their most private secrets will be revealed to everyone soon. Thinking no one will kill anyone over a secret, they all go to sleep soundly at night. The next day, Monokuma wakes them up, saying that one of them has died in the changing rooms. They all rush to the scene and find Fujizaki seemingly crucified in the girls' changing room. They quickly start investigating. Fujizaki was killed by a dumbbell and then tied up like a cross with an extension cord from the library. Sakura also notices that the protein shake stains she left on the rug last night are also gone. The pin-up poster is also different. Naiga takes 980 to the library and hands him a case file, showing him that the way the body was found looks like how Ishimaru used to leave his body. He tells Naiga that Ishimaru had a personality disorder, and the killer this time must be Ishimaru, since she was never caught, and the only one to fit that description is Toko. The second-class trial begins, and they start to piece the information together once more, starting with the murder weapon. Kyoko tells them that the way Fujizaki's head caved in, it was the dumbbell they found in the changing room. The bloodstains tell that the murder took place in the boys' changing room as well. Togami takes the lead and says that the way the body was displayed after the murder is clearly the work of Toko. Everyone's gut feeling is that she can't be among them, but Togami tells them about the files he found in the library. He also tells them about Ishimaru's personality disorder and that the only person to fit the description is Toko, who faints when everyone looks at her. Toko suddenly gets up and has a completely different aura about her. She laughs at them all, telling them that she is indeed Ishimaru, but she is not the one who killed Fujizaki. Naiga firmly defends himself, saying that Ishimaru killed her victims with scissors and crucified them with her scissors as well. Furthermore, she only killed men. Now, Naiga points towards Togami instead, saying that only he knew about Ishimaru and that Fujizaki was found tied up with an extension cord from the library as well. Naiga notices that Togami is still calm, making him realize that they overlooked something. He tells everyone that the killer must have killed Fujizaki in the boys' locker room and then switched the equipment to cover his tracks, using the card of an already dead classmate, showing that Fujizaki is actually a boy. Seeing two of Amy's surprised expressions, Naiga realizes that Togami is not the culprit. Celestia tells them that she saw Fujizaki leaving the washers with a bag with a jersey in it. Mondo quickly speaks up, saying that thank God he has a black one and not a blue one like that of the killer, making them all realize that he killed Fujizaki since no one told him the color of the jersey yet. Seeing that he is backed into a corner, he tells them the truth. Mondo tells them that Fujizaki was more of a man than him since he decided to face his fears and train to become a proper man, unlike him who hid away after killing his brother in a bike accident that made him so jealous that he ended up killing the person who told him his secret and asked for his help. He broke Fujisaki's electronic card and changed the room equipment to hide his secret. Ishimaru cannot believe his words. He steps up and offers to be executed instead, but Mondo is taken away and put to his death in a motorcycle death cage. After Mondo's trial, the third floor opens up for everyone. It includes a game room, a science lab, and art supply rooms. After they have some time to look around, Monokuma calls them to the gym to stir them up once more. He shows them a large pile of money, saying that whoever successfully gets away with murder will also be given this massive pile of cash. Everyone doubts that someone would kill anyone over money. Later that day, Aoi comes over and tells them that she saw Fujisaki's clothes in the public bath. Everyone gathers there and finds a laptop with an AI alter ego of Fujisaki. Seeing Ishimaru still mourning Mondo's death, the alter ego takes the form of Mondo and cheers him, saying that it's not his fault that he died. The alter ego tells them that he has been trying to crack some files on the school network and shows them all a picture of Leon, Mondo, and Fujisaki hanging out like friends. Everyone is completely thrown off by this and wonders what Monokuma is trying to pull now. The next day, Hifumi is caught trying to use the alter ego without informing anyone. He tells them that he was lonely and needed someone to vent to about his fetishes, creeping everyone out. Ishimaru and Hifumi both start to fight as to who has the right to use the alter ego, but Kyoko breaks them up, saying that from now on, no one is allowed in there without permission. The very next day, the alter ego goes missing. The next day, both Ishimaru and Hifumi are found dead, while Celestia is found injured. All of them were attacked with mallets from the supply room by someone wearing a Robo-Justice costume. Celestia shows them a camera that she found in the game room with a picture of the culprit attacking Hifumi. Everyone splits up to search for clues as quickly as possible. The situation starts to become more confusing as the bodies suddenly appear in the art room again. Hifumi, who still has a few breaths left, whispers Yasuhiro's name before finally dying in O's arms. Everyone stands in silence as 2 consecutive murders have just taken place. If the rules didn't enforce only 2 murders in one day, maybe more would have died today. The suspicion lies with Yasuhiro as he is found soon after the murder in a locker in the game room. Yasuhiro tells them that he did not do anything as he found a note telling him to come to the game room. The next thing he knows is that he was drugged and forced into this suit. After they conclude their investigation, everyone heads to the courtroom for the trial. The trial starts, and Kyoko tells them that both the victims died with a hit to the head with a blunt object. In this case, there were a number of mallets taken from the art supply room. Both Aoi and Celestia say that it is clear that Yasuhiro killed them both as he was found in the costume. Blueprints of the costume, and his remaining material were also found in Yasuhiro's room. Neiga, however, defends him, saying that the costume was too rigid for someone like Yasuhiro to move in, so he could not have moved the bodies. After looking at everyone's alibi, Celestia tells Kyoko that she was the only one missing from this whole situation. Kyoko plays it off by asking how a girl like her would be able to move Hifumi's body, which is quite large. All evidence right now points out that Hifumi was actually alive and moved Ishimaru's body. Neiga further confirms this by saying that when they first found his body, his glasses were covered in blood, but they were clean when he turned up in the art room. He also tells them that the mallet in the art supply room also looked like they were washed to him. It seems like Hifumi was actually an accomplice and got double-crossed. Neiga turns to Celestia and tells her that she told them that he will kill them like he killed him when they found her injured. At that point, she wouldn't have known that Ishimaru was dead. As for the picture in the camera, it's from the night before of Yasuhiro and Hifumi playing. Celestia finally cracks and tells them the truth, saying that she had since Hifumi followed her around like a dog, even went as far as blaming Yasuhiro before dying. The voting is numinous, and Celestia is executed by burning at the stake after the trial. Kyoko tells Naegi to go to the boys' restrooms storage closet on the 2nd floor. He follows her instructions and ends up in a secret room without cameras. He goes inside and finds a lot of books and a letter warning him not to leave the school. Right at that moment, someone knocks him out. When Naegi wakes up, all the files are gone. When Naegi returns to his room, he sees Sakura and Monokuma arguing about something. Naegi starts to suspect that Sakura might be a spy. The 4th floor opens up for them with a teacher's lounge, music room, chemistry lab, a locked computer room, and the principal's office. They go back to the alter ego which they had eventually found hidden in one of the lockers and ask him about the school. It tells them that before the school shut down, it had very odd punishment systems, and sometimes the students would be forced to spend all their lives there. Also, the odds of the principal being on school grounds right now are high. Monokuma calls them all to the gym again and tells them that one of the remaining students is his spy. When they ask who it is, Monokuma points towards Sakura, saying that it's her. Everyone is taken aback by the sudden revelation. Hina does not believe Monokuma's words, but Sakura confesses. Together, they ask about what her motives were. She tells them that she was the one to commit the first murder. If no one else was going to, Hina and Naegi try to defend Sakura, saying that she isn't like that, but it's no use since their trust has been completely shattered. Later that day, Naegi finds Hina fighting with Tuko and Byakuya, with an injured arm. He breaks them apart and takes her to the medical room to patch her up. Just when she's about to leave, Sakura enters the room and sees that Hina has been injured because of her. She gets mad but calms down eventually and goes to talk to Byakuya herself. The next day, Kyoko gives Naegi alter ego and takes him to the secret room in order to connect to the main school network to gain access to more data. Later that day, Kyoko and Naegi find Sakura locked in a room sitting on a chair. Naegi breaks open the door and rushes in, only to find her dead. They quickly start the investigation. Hina goes to call Yasuhiro and Toko. She blames the three for killing Sakura as they were the last ones to see her alive since Sakura told her to tell these three to meet her. The trial starts, and Hina blames the three of them and demands to put it to a vote immediately. Toko interjects, saying that she skipped out and did not see her. Yasuhiro tries to deny it and eventually speaks up, saying that he went to see Sakura, but she felt so threatening to him that he took a glass bottle and whacked her on the head. Toko brings out Byakuya and tells them that Byakuya, who was hiding in a cupboard, passed out seeing Sakura covered in blood. When she woke up, she saw Sakura close to her, so she panicked and hit her on the head as well. Near the magazine rack, Hina, who is impatient for the voting to begin, is cut off by Naegi, who tells them that Sakura was found on a chair. Byakuya takes out a bottle of poison he found in the chemistry lab and shows them that it is filled with protein powder. There was also an empty shaker bottle at the crime scene as well. He also found sneaker prints in the chemistry lab where some protein powder was spilled. Everyone looks at Hina as she is the only one wearing sneakers. It also fits the fact that she always made protein shakes for Sakura. Hina starts to weep and tries to take the blame, but Naegi stops her, telling her that the door was barred from the inside. Also, the cut they found was lying on top of a shattered glass from the door. Naegi breaks everything, points out that it's not a murder, seeing that no one trusted her anymore and that she was going to be a liability to them. Sakura decided to end her life. Naegi tells Hina, who is crying, that she is just trying to take everyone out because they mistreated her. Byakuya is unable to understand why Hina would take the fall for Sakura. She shows them her death note, saying that she's going to take her life since everyone hates her now. Monokuma interrupts them and shows them Sakura's real death note. He reads out the message, saying that she wants them all to survive this. As with her out of the picture, there will be no need for discord. Seeing that no one is going to get killed, Monokuma brings out a special victim, the alter ego. He tells them that he noticed it snooping around and destroys the laptop. The next floor opens up for everyone, a garden, a chicken coop, a storage shed, and a classroom covered in blood. The remaining students gather in the cafeteria to discuss their next strategy. Byakuya starts with Kyoko, telling her that she needs to tell them who she really is since every time something goes bad, she vanishes. Kyoko tells him that she doesn't remember who she is as she has amnesia, but he doesn't buy it. He tells her to either tell them who she is or give them her bedroom key. Kyoko gets up and hands over the keys to her room before leaving. Toko hands a survival knife to Byakuya, telling him that she found it in the classroom. Seeing that no one else is eligible, they all agree that Naegi should hold onto it. Monokuma suddenly calls them all to the gym. When they enter the gym, they notice that he is furious. He tells them that one of them stole a treasure of his, and they will pay. Later that night, Naegi meets up with Kyoko, who shows him a key that unlocks all doors in the building. She tells him that Sakura helped her into the principal's office before she died. She also tells him that their mastermind is a girl, not the principal. They both agree to use the key to investigate further. As Naegi distracts Monokuma with idle talk, Kyoko hurries around the building to find more clues about their captor. That night, Naegi has a strange dream of someone trying to kill him in his sleep. He wakes up in the morning and goes to the gym and sees that everyone, except Kyoko, is taking Monokuma apart. They tell him that they just found him lying on the floor like this and decided to go for it. Byakuya suddenly appears, telling them that someone has died in the garden. They all rush to see who it is and see a masked person lying on the floor with a knife in their chest. Byakuya tries to take off the mask, but the face explodes, setting the body on fire. They quickly extinguish the flames before the evidence gets destroyed, but the body still gets mangled. Byakuya thinks that it's Kyoko, but Naegi tells him that there is a 16th student as well. They find a key lying near the body, and Byakuya realizes where it goes. They go to the locked computer lab and open it up with the key they found, only to find Monokuma waiting for them in there. He tells them that they have been a part of live television this whole time. He tells them to start investigating as they have a murder to solve. As they make their way down to the courtroom, Kyoko apologizes to Naegi for what she is about to do. The trial starts, and everyone starts laying down their alibis. They come to a point that the murder could only have happened between 9 and 10 a.m. since the sprinklers turn on before that. Kyoko tells them that the murderer could have covered the body with sheets found in the supply room next to it. She points towards Naegi, saying that he's the only one who doesn't have a proper alibi. Naegi is shocked that Kyoko was trying to frame him. Everyone starts to suspect him. He tries to tell Monokuma to give him more time for the investigation since they didn't know who the 16th student was, but he brushes them away and tells them it's time to vote. Everyone votes to have Naegi executed. As Naegi slowly gets pushed to a crushing machine tied to a chair, the systems go haywire, and the alter ego takes over, saving Naegi's life and throwing him into a sewer below. Naegi wakes up in the sewer and sees Kyoko next to him. She hands him some food and apologizes for throwing him under the bus. She tells him that the mastermind was trying to kill him and blame her for murdering him, but she got there in time to save him. After his execution failed, they were all locked up to die from starvation, but she used the special key to get everyone out. Both make their way out of the sewers and go to see Monokuma. Kyoko tells him that it would increase his viewership if he increased the stakes a little. If they manage to solve the school mystery, he will die. If not, they will all be executed. Monokuma laughs and rises to the challenge. They both quickly rush to the cafeteria to inform everyone about their plan. Monokuma unlocks every room for them to visit, and they all split up to investigate the school. Kyoko and Naegi go to the principal's personal room where they find his dead body in a present box. Kyoko tells Naegi that those bones are her father's. Before they leave the room, Naegi finds a memory card behind a picture. They both plug it into a computer and start playing the video file on it. Both of them are shocked as it is their own videos giving consent to the principal before joining the program. Before they go through it completely, Monokuma shows up and destroys the memory card. Over the next few hours, they turn the school upside down, from visiting the cold freezer where the dead bodies were kept to the broken locker room where Naegi finds Toko's old diary during his time. Monokuma goes around dropping a photo near everyone. The last trial finally begins. They all start blaming each other, showing them the picture they each had with everyone else in them except them. Naegi tells them about the video file he found as well. Monokuma interrupts them, saying that they have to solve the murder of Ikusaba, the 16th student as well. Naegi tells Monokuma that they know who the killer is, and it is not one of them. He found only 9 bodies in the freezer, not 10. That means one body was recycled. Naegi tells them that looking at the body closely, it looked a lot like Junko's. He tells them that he saw Ikusaba when she attacked him at night, but her hand was visible and she didn't have a tattoo on it as Junko did. He points at Monokuma, telling him that he is the actual culprit since he killed Ikusaba and then tried to hide her identity from them multiple times. He tells them that the Junko they came here with was not the same girl as in the photos. That only means that Junko is still alive and listening to them. Seeing that he has no way out of this, Monokuma reveals his true identity as Junko. Junko starts to laugh hysterically. She apologizes for her behavior as she has not talked with a real human for so long. She tells them that it is true that she killed Ikusaba, her twin sister. They had agreed to infiltrate the school and put their plan into action. Everyone is horrified that Junko had killed her sister. She further says that this is a place for despair, not to strengthen family bonds. She then turns on the TVs in the room and shows them the outside world that is completely in ruins. She tells them a weird invasion began 2 years ago before they were locked up, and everyone on the outside is most probably dead. No one is willing to trust her, but Naegi tells Toko to bring out Alter Ego as her memories are not wiped. Alter Ego takes over Toko's body and tells them that Junko is telling the truth. Since their memories were wiped, they have no idea how long they have been there. Junko makes one last push. She tells them to either vote to kill her if the school will stop operating and they will be thrown into a dying world. However, they can still choose to live here and vote for Naegi to die instead. Naegi doesn't fall for it and starts to gather everyone to his side, saying that they will try and rebuild everything even if the outside world is in nothing but despair. The voting starts, and Junko is sentenced to death. Naegi tries to stop her from killing herself, but she snaps, telling him not to take her moment to shine. Junko is then killed in every possible way. After her execution, the remaining students get ready to finally step into the outside world. Out of the 16 that came to Hope's Peak High School, only 6 were left alive. The end. Check our other videos and subscribe for more amazing recaps.